Oh, we're going? Yeah. Oh, you can count it off next time. Just let me know. Give me a heads up. All right. Hi, welcome to SBR Sports Picks. My name is Peter Loshak. His name is Jimmy the Bag. This is Loshak in the Bag show for Monday, March 12th. It is the NCAA tournament week, right, Jim?
It is.
The opening lines are already out. Selection Sunday is done. The matchups are done. I hit a few of the opening lines on the college basketball. They're always very interesting, right? You see teams are like, should they be getting that many points? And you see other teams are like, damn, I would have thought they would be getting more points. All those kinds of decisions people have been making, right, Jim?
It's wild. So exciting. Yesterday was like Christmas morning, figuring out the matchups and breaking them all down. Lots of value, lots of opportunities.
Yeah.
Lots of double-digit dogs that look like they can cover.
And actually, for a long time, of course, regular, long-time veterans of this industry, which I am proud to say that I am, know that for a long time, kind of like the dogs were just a blindly good bet in the NCAA tournament. They were always being given too many points. Then the market kind of wised up, didn't it, Jim? And that would not stop being the case, and you started to see a lot of situations where like some Ivy League team would be going up against some great SEC team and getting only like 3.5, and you're like, damn, 5 years ago, this would have been plus 12. Now they're getting 3.5. I don't know what to do here, but this year, I'll be honest, just my first once over of the lines, I was a little bit surprised by how big a lot of these lines, a lot of these 10, 11, 12, 13-point dogs, I would have more expected like 7, 8, 9 type deals right there, Jimmy the Bag.
Yeah, some games jumped out at me as being just insanely exciting. Buffalo, Arizona. Oh, God.
Yes.
Man, am I pumped for that game.
That's certainly an interesting one. So what we're going to do today, of course, we're going to do NHL. Of course, we're going to do NBA. And then we're going to jump to college basketball, where we'll talk about the 4 games today. Of course, the minor conference tournaments can't always have value every day and every week. And then we'll give our first thoughts on the opening lines in the NCAA tournament. And I'll probably give a couple of official picks because I did hit some of those openers. Jim, have you looked at those lines yet? And you'll give a pick.
Yeah.
You'll give a pick or two,
I might give one pick,
Sure.
but I'm going to have every single game capped,
Sure.
and I'm not going to force it or rush it.
Sure.
So there's one play that I want to make immediately, but I might just sit back and start making them this afternoon on the Late Show.
And then, of course, we will discuss. I was thinking maybe we should have a segment in these shows like tomorrow and Wednesday just about bracketology and teams that we think might make a deeper run than normal, because I'm going to be in a couple of bracket contests. Of course, one that's going on is at SBR, which I guess I'm going to participate in, even though I'm not eligible. I fucking hate participating in contests where I'm not eligible, but I guess I'll just do it because it's for SBR. SBR is going to have a big contest here, March Madness contest, right?
Yeah.
Hey, Johan, do we have that video or that we can show up there? Throw up on the screen? Hey, Johan. Oh, yeah. Okay. You can talk, Johan. So we did make a video showing you how to do it, but in case you don't know how to do it or you haven't seen the video yet, I think you just go to the forum at Sportsbook Review. Probably there's a link for SBR contest. There should be a stickied thread at the top of the basketball forum, and probably the main forum as well. And it'll take you to links, very easy to sign up for. And of course, it pays out cash. I believe first 10 places pays out SBR bet points down to like the 30th place or 50th place or something like that. And of course, my little advertising tagline that I came up with pays out fun all the way down to last place. March Madness contest at SBR.
That is very enjoyable.
How about the way I delivered that? Pays out fun down to last place here at SBRforum.com. Right?
I love it.
Would your dad like that? Would your dad look at me
my
think,
dad would not like
that guy has integrity and that guy's just a good guy. I trust what he says. All right. So, go to SBRforum.com and join the March Madness contest. Do you think that would be a waste of time if we had on Tuesday and Wednesday maybe a separate section just for general thoughts of bracketology? Because I'll tell you, if there's any time I would love to be getting the thoughts from the commenters on our show, it would be their thoughts on who's likely to go out early or who's likely to go out.
I think that's a great idea. I think we need to do that.
Because I usually don't fill out my brackets until Wednesday night. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, I think that's probably the best move to gather as much information as possible. Whereas with bets, we're trying to get the lines.
No. With bets, I bet them. I try to hit the opening lines. But when it comes to my brackets, I usually wait and fill them out Wednesday night. You know what I'm saying, Jim?
Yeah, makes sense.
You know what I'm saying, Jim?
I do.
All right. So let me get to some comments. What's the first comments from Paulo Marquez that you're seeing there?
Yes.
Okay. Great.
Paulo.
Great. All right. So let's quickly get some initial comments, and then we'll dive dive right into NBA, which is, I'll be on record right now. I don't like this NBA card. I didn't make any bets, and I think I might pass on it. Let's see.
I found one play that to me feels like could be a low.
Nice play. All right, I'm just scanning on some of these comments here.
I like G-Man Hag says, yes, Jimmy wasn't around this weekend because he gets too fucked up on the weekends, which is a nice excuse for me to hide out, man. Everyone thinking I'm just doing blown fucking hookers.
Oh, so because people like hang on your every tweet for like NHL stuff?
No one's hanging on my every tweet, but it is a nice excuse for me to fuck off.
Very nice. All right, yeah, I feel like I'm feeling NHL. I killed it this weekend. I've been doing almost as well as Jim recently in NHL, and on today's card, I feel like I have a bunch of plays that I'm liking. All right, so let's go to NBA. I guess let's throw that NBA record up there. And Johan, you got that NBA record up there? You got that NBA record, Johan? NBA's coming up. This is good for Jim. Not so great for me, although I had a nice day recently on Friday. I had a nice week. I've actually had a nice couple of days. I'm still down 15 units in the NBA, but Jim is still up double digits despite having a losing Friday. Here comes the record. There you can see Jim's up double digits. I am down about 15 units, but clawing back and like Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, I'm looking over my record here. I was doing quite well, and I made a smart move where on Friday, I stuck with only the Detroit team total under. That one did cash, but I was smart to take back Chicago because I knew there was something up with that line, and I didn't really like it. And do you remember Utah-Memphis on Friday? We both liked it, and people gave us shit for that, but cashed easily.
One guy, especially Gabriel Hernandez.
Oh, boy.
Rodriguez,
yeah.
Excuse me, Gabriel Rodriguez, who was off by about 30 on his first half total, and then told me I was completely in the wrong direction on the under.
On the Utah-Memphis game.
Yeah, he said there was going to be a fast pace and there was going to be buckets.
Did he really?
Wrong.
Are you serious?
I'm serious.
Did he say that?
Yeah, well, he wrote it.
Because I thought you were talking about the Duke game, which he was also way wrong on.
No, but both games he was way wrong on.
All right, well, the self-proclaimed king of chat, Gabriel Rodriguez, has a little bit of explaining to do when he comes on. Hopefully we see him again. Hopefully we will see him again. All right, let's get to NBA today, Jim. We got just 4 games. 4 tough games. Nothing I'm really thinking is a good play here. Miami and Portland are going up against each other. They've both been great ATS recently. Both of them just been killing it ATS, game in and game out. So I was thinking maybe a shot with Miami at plus 7.5, but now that's down to 7 or 6.5. Maybe a shot with the under because Portland is playing great defense. Houston coming off a back-to-back. They had a low-scoring win at Dallas, so I was thinking maybe a shot with the under on that one. OKC's playing some decent defense. I was thinking maybe a shot with the under on that one, but I didn't bet any of these games. And Milwaukee, of course, even against a team like Memphis, is scary to take as a big road favorite. So I didn't bet anything on the overnight lines, Jim. Do you have any picks you're liking here?
You're right. It's a tough card. It's a tricky card without question. And what was so confusing to me was the total in this Spurs-Rockets. Because as you know, my local forces me to use Bet365. Bet365 has been hanging at 214.5 all day. When it opened at 208, and there's 210s and 211, and Bet365 still hanging at 214.5, which is just makes no sense. But I think that San Antonio is in a world of hurt. They look terrible. They're just a half game over ahead of the Clippers, Nuggets, and Jazz, who are all tied for 8th. They've lost 5 of 7 games since the All-Star break, 10 of 12 overall, now 7th in the conference. Their offense looks terrible. Their effective field goal percentage since the All-Star break, 50.7. That would rank 26th in the league over a full season. Yes, Kawhi will be coming back on Thursday. They're going to be without Aldridge tonight. Ginobili's resting. They're 14-21 on the road. They've already clinched their first losing record on the road. And now the Rockets feel so good about themselves and are getting Harden back, who didn't play last night. Anderson and Nene probably will be back. He didn't play last night. They've been beating up on bad teams and beating good teams. I think they're going to put buckets up here, and I'd like to take the team total over because I think they're going to smash the Spurs. And I don't trust the Spurs scoring enough points for the whole game to go over, and so I'm gonna jump on this team total over on the Rockets. All right, you want the team total over on the Rockets? Well, let me at Pinnacle right now 111.5 minus 106. I'll do a quick check of it because we don't have team totals that's good. Pretty enough. High. It is pretty high, Jim. That's pretty high. It is pretty high, Jim. The market isn't just handing out free money, on any play you want. Hey, whoa, whoa. You know what I'm saying, Jim? Whoa, I know what you're saying. Yeah.
That is a highlight. No, I didn't mean to be attacking you. I'm just saying, like, yeah, these fucking team totals can be right now. There's a powwow going behind the camera. I'll check Heritage, but I don't think Heritage is going to be giving you much better. In fact, probably it's going to be a little bit worse. Jimmy the Bag, they there can be bigger value on team totals than on the regular sides and totals on the game. But still, even with team totals, they ain't usually handing out free money in this shit, Jim.
So am I getting better there?
You'll get maybe a little bit. No, you're not going to get better. It's going to be 111.5.
That's real high. I'm gonna hold off on that, but I do think the Rockets are gonna score anytime they want against this Spurs defense without Aldridge playing. When Bertans comes in, he's just lofting three-pointers out from the perimeter.
You're not concerned that they just got a big blowout win that was very low scoring and they didn't score?
I expected them to do that without Harden.
Okay.
Step up without Harden. Eric Gordon filled in 26 points, 6 for 11 on three-pointers, just like the Warriors have done in the past, haven't done lately. But in the past, the Rockets want to show that they can win without their star. Paulo Marquez says Rockets will crush them. Justin Searcy says Houston first quarter seems like money. Scotty Rock Forever says I think Rockets win by 20. And Elio Rodriguez says that's real high, Jimmy, which he's absolutely right.
Heritage has 111.5 minus 110, Jim.
Okay, I'm going to make a move at some point on this Rockets team total, but I'm going to not make it right now. That just doesn't make sense. So let's. I'm not going to make a move at this point.
All right. Once again, I didn't make any bets on these NBA lines, and I'm thinking maybe I won't give any official picks today. The Miami-Portland game is interesting. Both those teams have been killing it. ATS. Miami's covered like 9 out of. They're like 9-1-2 over the last 12, and Portland's also been covering game in and game out. Portland's been getting it done with a much improved defense, though. I don't know. I was thinking maybe the under on this one, 209.5. What do you think about that, Jim?
I don't think I would think that there'll be more buckets without Whiteside in the lineup. Although he may be able to play. So if you are going to make a move, I would wait to see. I don't expect him to play. Dwayne Wade definitely won't be in the lineup. Heater coming off a 129-102 victory against a very tired Wizards club. Second half of a back-to-back, third game in 5 days for them. But both Wade and Whiteside joined the team on the trip. Unlikely to play. Wade already declared himself out. Heater won 4 of 5. 16-18 on the road. Blazers are looking good, man. They're just looking very strong. 9 straight wins. 115 of the last 16 at home. Only loss. They're one loss since December 22nd. Lillard's averaging 34.7 points over his last 11 games. Scotty Rock says over 209 easily. I just expect the paint to be... Whiteside was ruled out, says Tomar. I expect this paint to be available. I expect baskets without Whiteside in there.
Okay,
your lean is even without Whiteside. Your lean's under?
No, my lean. That wasn't even a lean. That was just a thought. Like I said, Jim, I looked at these games. Nothing that I wanted to bet, and I think I might pass on all these as far as the pick is concerned. Vaguely thinking maybe an under in the Sacramento OKC game. Vaguely thinking. I don't even have any leans on this card. I just have thoughts, Jim.
Okay, I'm gonna. Wow, that line's going up fast. Sorry, wrong.
Okay, we have a Bracket Busters video ready. We're done with that. We're not going to show the Bracket Busters video, but we will show it in the afternoon show. The people who the video to show how to get to our contest. I mean, the viewers of the show aren't geniuses, but they're not that dumb. They know how to freaking sign up for a contest if we tell them the URL. You know what I'm saying, Jim?
Yeah, I know what you're saying, but I am going to take this over on the Heat Blazers game. I think without Whiteside in the paint, there's going to be room. Nurkic is not going to have to play much. He can play 26, 27 minutes if the Blazers are rolling. I think there's going to be room. I think there's going to be buckets, and I am taking the over in Heat.
All right,
Blazers.
You're taking the over in the Miami-Portland game. Okay, interesting. Jim's going to take Portland over. Best line right now would be at Pinnacle, 209 minus 101. So not bad.
Yeah, I love that. Love that a lot. And then you're right; these are tough games. Bucks Grizzlies is a tough spot. Bucks look awful, and we've been on how bad they were or are for the last 3 weeks or 4 weeks or so. Coming off 120-112 victory at home over the hapless Knicks. It was just their second win in 8 games. Their guard play has been so bad recently without Brogdon and Dellavedova that during the weekend they had to waive Teletovic just to open up a spot for Brandon Jennings, who may or may not help. Just 14-17 on the road. Grizzlies are just awful. Coming off their 17th straight loss, 114-80, 34-point margin, largest of the season. Canadian Dylan Brooks, only bright spot for this team. He's averaged 21.3 points during this last 4 games, looking good. But God, they're awful. And I mean, I'm going to wait on this game, but I just think they've thrown in the towel. But Gasol's going to be playing, and It's just this is a mess. This is a fucking mess. I'm not making a play on this game.
Okay. All right. Johan, you can take down the message. And by the way, if you have anything to say to us, Johan, just shout it out. Just shout it out, okay? We like that here. We like shout it out. So it makes people realize that there's like other people in the studio. It makes it feel like a little bit of a party. You know what I'm saying?
I do.
I mean, if you got 3 people and all of them are relatively happy in the same room, that's almost a party, Jim.
That is very close to a party.
All right, so yeah. I don't really fucking know what to say about this. I'm going to get some comments because there's a lot of comments here that are coming in that are certainly interesting. Deshaun Sampson likes the Bucks first quarter. I can see that. Underdog status hates the Grizzlies. They look the worst. Sacktown. Goose likes the Sacktown over. Goose was the guy who said that the under in the Indiana-Atlanta game was a play of the millennium. That one did cash.
Yeah,
so
I like
here you
Goose.
go.
I like
Goose.
I'm happy
now
with
says
Goose
Sacktown over. I mean, if I was going to blindly make a bet here on this one, I might take a shot with that one. That is now, it opened at 210. It's now up to 210.5, 211, or 211.5. And Goose likes the over. And Goose certainly made an emphatic introduction for himself in these shows, right?
Yeah,
for those who don't remember, Goose came in and said that a recent game between Atlanta and Indiana, play of the millennium, was on the under. I don't know exactly where he got that one, but it did go under by about 10 points. It wasn't even that close. So keep note, people. Goose likes the Sacramento over. What else do you like here, Jim? Damian Lillard is a beast, says Jose Eng likes the Blazers. Mayless Payless Way likes... Sorry, I just asked you and then I cut you off. I'm just reading comments here. Mayless Payless Way likes Portland first quarter and Milwaukee first quarter. Scotty Rock Forever likes it over 209 easily. Nice. That's on the Portland game. Let's see. What else do we have here?
Twatty thinks that we're conducting our show from a bomb shelter.
It could be. Yeah.
It does look like it.
A metaphorical bomb shelter for sure. All right. I'm not sure. Paolo Marquez says Rockets will crush them. Justin Searcy says Houston first quarter seems like money. Mayless Payless Way also liking the first quarter. And okay. So Jim has one so far.
Underdog status is agreeing with Goose. And the reason why underdog status is jumping in is because there's going to be no Steven Adams. He's questionable to go tonight. Terrence Ferguson also in concussion protocol. Not that matters. Just to show how bad this Thunder's depth is at the 2. They've brought in Corey Brewer, and he's taken the job and ran with it. Unbelievable. He averaged 4.5 points a game last year, 3.7 points per game this year, being a starter for his 293 of his 769 games. But he's looked okay. In a Laker uniform, he was shooting 18.6% from 3, and in a Thunder uniform, 42.9% from 3. I imagine that won't continue for long. Thunder at 23-11 at home. He's right. I mean, the same reason why I think that the game will go over in the my Heat Blazers without Whiteside clogging the paint is the same thing without Steven Adams clogging the paint. Kings are on the second half of a back-to-back after being destroyed 131-4 at hands of the Nuggets. They were down 101-68 after 3. They're 4-9 on the second half of back-to-backs. This is a tricky spot. I see what you guys are saying, and I'm going to look further into it, put a question mark there. I don't know if I can just tail that over, but I see what they're saying with it.
Yeah. I don't know. All right, so as of right now, Jim has given just one play, Portland over 209 minus 101. I think I might pass on all 4 games here, except for maybe I'm seriously thinking about blindly tailing this motherfucker Goose's play on the over 210.5 at Bookmaker, Jim. I trust this guy now.
Yeah.
I mean, it's just a sample size of 1, but it was a pretty emphatic 1. That's a 1 with an exclamation point if I ever saw one, Jim.
Yeah, I hear you. I like Goose. I like running with Goose.
And he likes the over.
Yeah.
On Sacramento OKC. I was thinking maybe a somewhat lazy, slower paced game with Sacramento, trying to hang close and it goes a little bit modest scoring, but I certainly didn't bet that one. That was just how I was thinking. All right, I guess shall we move on, Jim?
Let's move on.
All right, let's move on to NHL. Totally different story. Once again, Jim has just one play in the NBA. Portland 209 minus 101. Now he threw up. I allowed us to throw up the NBA record despite showing by fucking minus 15 units. So now we're going to show the NHL record. Let's throw this shit up there. You will see my excellent record in NHL, and you will see Jim's awesome record. A little bit down from his high water mark, which I forgot what his high water mark was, but Jim is still killing it. Up 36 units in NHL, and I am up 16 units in NHL, and I would be up a lot more if I was just given my my leans. I feel like I'm starting to have a real strong lean in NHL. I feel for NHL in general. I killed it over the weekend, and there's a bunch of plays that I think I'm liking here again, and it's sort of the same deal. Generally looking at the card, a lot of big home favorites that I think might have value anyway on the puck line, and a lot of totals at 6 that I think might have some value on the under. Let me start off with a couple, just because I want to start off with letting you know what I think, just so that if Jim agrees, that people don't think I'm copying him, which would be understandable. I guess let's start with Philly Vegas. I like the under here, right? Ever since Vegas has been maybe coming down to earth a little bit and going on the road, they've been a lot more modest scoring. I bet this one under 6 at about minus 118, so I beat the current move. Now 6 minus 123, and I think I like the under here as well. What do you think about that, Jim?
I don't think it's a bad play at all. Knights coming off a 2-1 win at Buffalo on Saturday night. Their offense has slowed down, but they still have a lot of heart. They came very close to losing that game, won it late, tied it up very late. Marc-Andre Fleury made 31 saves for the win, going for number 400 tonight. His numbers aren't great versus the Flyers. 2.89 goals against average, 899 save percentage over his career. I don't really care generally about those stats, but he was part of that huge Pennsylvania rivalry. They're 3-1-0 on their 5-game trip. Knights are dealing with injuries, and we know they don't have a ton of depth.
Yeah.
Jeremy M says, Jimmy, I'm on the fade Vegas train tonight. iKid2 Groove says Vegas revenge game versus Philly. Marcus Cologne says Flyers is the play. They're dealing with injuries to Subban, James Neal, Oscar Lindbergh, and Lucas Spiza. Riley Smith is day-to-day, maybe back in the lineup today. The Flyers snapped a 5-game losing streak with a 2-1 win over the visiting Jets on Saturday night. Mrazek snapped out of his funk. They're going to need him if they want to make this run. He got his first win. He's now 1-3-1, 3.75 goals against average, 874 save percentage this month, and I don't trust him. I do not trust him, but he's a streaky goalie. He can get hot. I do not trust him moving forward. Flyers won the first meeting 4-1 in Las Vegas. They're 17-11 and 6 at home. Not a great record, a home record for quite a good team. But if you're going to give me the Flyers as a slight dog at home against the Golden Knights, who are having a good road trip but don't look like the juggernaut that they were, I'm going to take it every single time. So I am certainly on the Flyers money line right now.
Well, we can't give you as a slight dog. We can give you plus 100 though. Bet online. That's it. It has moved a little bit. I was thinking that as well. I was thinking maybe it's fade Flyers time, fade Vegas time again. And you think the under is an okay approach?
I think it's an okay play because Vegas has dried up their scoring.
Yeah.
So yes, but I don't trust Mrazek. So, in saying that, I think the fear would be, Vegas running up. It's creating an offensive type game, and they're just not playing that way right now.
All right, so you want Philly on the money line?
I do.
Okay, plus 100 is the best line right now at Bet Online. Again, you're right, on the overnight line, they were a small dog, and some money is coming in on Philly. All right, now let's talk about another one. Again, I just want to get to this because I have a feeling Jim's going to agree with it, and I'm going to be on it. I don't want people to say I'm copying him. Ottawa against Florida, right? Ottawa's lost 2 in a row. They did have 2 wins as a huge underdog, though, in their last 4-game road trip, so be careful. But Florida seems like they are really surging. Ottawa slumping, and it feels like Florida should roll here. Florida on the puck line. What do you think, Jim?
They should roll, absolutely. Also, Mark Stone suffered a leg injury, did not join them on the trip. He's going to be replaced by Marian Gaborik, which is just really a loss for the team. Senators coming off a 2-1 loss at Calgary on Friday night. 9-19-5 on the road, 2-6-2 over their past 10. The Panthers are just a hot squad. Now, they barely beat the Rangers. The Rangers aren't as bad as their record also.
Yes, and we will get to that game in a second.
I think they're live for sure tonight. But they have now won a franchise record 8 straight games. Luongo is streaky and playing excellently. 7-0-0 at home. 7-0-0 at home over this streak. 2.10 goals against average. 942 save percentage. The Panthers are getting a ton of offense. Dadonov has 6 goals, 6 assists over the streak. Barkov 5 goals, 7 assists. Keep Yandel. People forget about Yandel, and I question how quality is on both ends of the rink, but he's got 9 assists during this streak. They're 15-3-1 since January 30th. I think this is a low-hanging fruit situation. Now, when we had both the Panthers and the Lightning on the puck line last week, that was easier. I don't think this is quite. I think, and Pete mentioned that these Senators have won a couple games lately as big dogs. This isn't ground fruit, but this is a spot that you just can't pass up. So
Yeah.
I'm on the puck line Panthers.
All right, the best line for the puck line is plus 135, and I'm going to take the -1 line here, minus 210 on the money line, and the puck line is plus 135 again. So that's a decent favorite line for the -1 line, but I'll take it. Florida minus 210 at BetOnline, and the puck line again is plus 135 at a bunch of places. I'm on that one as well, and I would also have a lean to the under on this one. I've been doing pretty well. Florida, with all their dominance recently, most of their wins have still been very low scoring and going under. And I was thinking maybe a shot with the Ottawa team total under as well. Just take a little bit of a try to double up here. 2.5 at just -114, Jim.
2.5 minus 114.
Yeah, I mean,
I've had bad luck. I went over my numbers on the team totals. I've not bad luck. I should say. I've been losing
good.
On the team totals in hockey for whatever reason. It's funny because I've had the successful season, but those team totals, I'm not figuring out the timing, and so I'm a little hesitant to take it.
I feel like I've been pretty good with my team totals here. All right, for now I'll just stick with Florida -1, but the Ottawa team total under would definitely be in my leans category. All right, you hinted at it. Let's now move on to the Carolina Rangers game. This is another game that I hit pretty much a max play on the under. It's 6. You're getting a 6 here. I'm not quite seeing offenses that are indicating that this should be a legit 6. And the Rangers are a decent sized home dog here. And the Rangers are playing a lot of youngsters. It's at the end of a lost season. I'm thinking they're playing with some life to them. And Carolina, they can win a game here and there, but not sure they should be as this big of a road favorite. Jim, what do you think?
I agree completely. I agree completely. And there's a few of us who are on the Rangers here, too, reading from the chat. This is not G-Man Hag says, I'm very sure the Rangers get the win tonight, but I can understand your side. And then Brent Brooks is with us with that Panthers. He also likes both the Kings and the Ducks this evening. I'm totally, completely with you. Now, this Rangers team isn't playing a ton of kids on offense, on forwards. They're playing kids on defense, but they have some veterans who are excited to be getting a ton of ice time. And those are Kevin Hayes has 7 goals in his last 10 games. Ryan Spooner has 2 goals and 10 assists in 7 games since he was acquired from Boston. They're playing on line with Zuccarello. That's a pretty exciting offensive line. And Spooner finally getting the kind of ice time he's always dreamt of. And Hayes is a big boy who can do a lot of different things. Rangers have beaten the Hurricanes 14 straight times at home. They've outscored Carolina 11-2 in their first 2 meetings. New York's 22-4 in the last 26 meetings since it started 2011 against this team. 18-13-4 at home. This is not an easy place to play.
It is Georgiev confirmed for the Rangers. How does that affect things, Jim?
I don't think it hurts them at all. In fact, Lundqvist just is not a consistent goalie right now. I'd be curious. Can you read us out his stats so far?
Yes. Georgiev has posted a 2.6. Here, I'm doing my Jim impression. Georgiev posted a 2.65 goal against and .930 save percentage in 4 games since being recalled from Hartford AHL. No, that's not it. That's not a mean impression, is it? No. It's funny. It's funny, right? Yeah, nice. 4 games, right? 2.65 goals against, .930 save percentage since being recalled from Hartford. And, that's basically it.
I think, you'd rather have him in goal. I was surprised that the Canes were going back-to-back with Darling. He's looked bad. And, they just lost 3-2 on the road to Chicago. He comes back to Chicago and plays okay. He only had 24 shots on him. Over his last 5 appearances, he's allowed 16 goals and just an .864 save percentage. Hurricanes are 14-5-5 on the road, 3-5-2 over their past 10. I'm not going to take the under here, but I get it. I get it. And you know what? I may make a note and look into it further, but I'm certainly going to take the Rangers on this home dog line.
And how about Darling? Is he like? I mean,
he's not playing well. And
I know, but
this is his. I mean, they're giving him another chance after this Blackhawks game to hope he gets hot. He's just looked bad all season long, and I don't know why he'd be any different right now.
So you think that the under is maybe not a good play because of Darling?
I do. I'd lean under. But yeah, Darling's been bad all year. There's no reason to trust him.
I'm going to throw the under on there. 6 minus 114 is the current line at Pinnacle. Hopefully, we'll get an okay game from Darling. And it's tempting to take the Rangers as a home dog. What do you think, Jim?
Oh, for sure, I'm on it.
You're on it?
Oh yeah.
Okay, but not touching the total.
Not at this point.
All right, Jim's going to take the Rangers money line. Line shopping here at SBRodds.com. Best line is at BetOnline plus 131. BetOnline plus 131. I should probably be on that one as well. I'm going to think about that one just a little bit more, but I'm liking that one.
G-Man Hag says talk Pete out of the under in the Rangers game. I don't It's just Darling is the issue, and the Rangers are scoring goals.
Yeah.
The Hurricanes aren't really scoring goals.
Yeah.
So I would still lean towards the under, but not enough to put my money on it.
I mean, my sense is that, Darling's not a great goalie, but he's still an NHL goalie. He's still capable of having like a decent game here and there, right?
Without question, and that's why they're giving him the start again. They're expecting him to step up.
Yeah. All right, now let's talk about, what shall we talk about? Let's talk about Montreal-Columbus, right? Columbus, despite all the, controversy and debating with how does Torts affect the team, they won 4 in a row. Montreal definitely slumping on this current road trip. Is Columbus, despite Tortorella, do you like him here? Are they too big of a favorite? What do you think?
I've lost twice in a row taking the Jackets on the puck line, and I'm going to offer it up again. I'm surprised that they're not beating teams a little easier than they are, even that this is the first 4-game winning streak they've had in a long time. Canadians are coming off a 3-2 shootout loss at Tampa on Saturday night. Tonight marks the final game of a 6-game road trip where they've gone 1-3-1. We've had a lot of success this year fading teams on the final game of a road trip. Carey Price and Max Pacioretty remain out of the lineup indefinitely. Philip Danault, status is unknown after leaving the Lightning game after taking a stick to the face. Habs special teams keep looking worse. And special teams are so critical to victories, and opponents have scored a shorthanded goal in all 5 games on this trip, and they've converted 57.1%. 57.1% of their chances with a man advantage have been hit against this Habs penalty killing unit. They're just falling apart. Canadians power plays produced just 1 goal and 16 opportunities. I think I wrote that out wrong. Opponents have scored, I believe it's a power play goal in all 5 games of this trip, not a shorthand. I think I wrote that out wrong. But their penalty killing has been awful. The Canadians power play, which was once something that we were talking about, was a boon for them. Was the only good thing they had in this whole team is now dried up, and that's without having Pacioretty in front of the net. He's a very good power play guy. Canadians won the only meeting this year, 3-1, 9-21-4 on the road, 3-2-5 over the past 10. Jackets coming off that 3-2 home win over the Red Wings on Friday night. They took their foot off the gas surprisingly in that game. They've now won 4 straight, just 1 point behind the Devils for the first wildcard spot, 4 points behind the Flyers for third place in the Met. Their defense has stepped up in a big way. Zach Werenski's playing great, scored a goal in 3 of the past 5 games. Seth Jones scored 2 goals, giving him 3 goals and 2 assists over his past 2 games. I think this is a really nice spot, and I'm going to take this, even though I've lost the last 2 times I've done this, last 2 games they've had, I'm again going to take the Jackets on the puck line. All
right, the Jackets puck line. I guess that's what I was thinking about. The best line shopping here, plus 136 at Pinnacle. Jim's going to take Columbus puck line, plus 136. Columbus puck line, 136. Yeah, I was thinking about the Columbus puck line, and I was thinking about the Montreal team total under, although it's 2.5 minus 140. That's scary to take a team total under at that line, isn't it?
It's a scary spot.
But they're just not scoring, are they? And Bobrovsky isn't confirmed either. Does it matter if Bobrovsky's not in goal?
Yeah, I mean, I hope that he is in goal, but Korpisalo has looked good enough at home to take it either way.
Yeah.
Oh, what's the line you're getting on the full game under?
The full game under would be the full game under is a 5.5 at like minus 120. So that's why the Montreal team total under is so low. All right, I'll go on there with you, Jim. -1. The money line here is minus 218, and the puck line once again plus 136. I'll take that one, even though Bobrovsky isn't confirmed. And what's your take on Tortorella? I mean, is this team like functional despite him as the coach?
They have a ton of veterans on the squad, so even though sometimes he says the right thing, sometimes he doesn't.
Right.
He's just such a dick. But now when they're winning, it's usually when he does say the right things. It's when they're losing that you have to worry. So I think that they have enough veteran leadership to move forward. I don't like them come playoff time if they get in here. Eric Swiatek says Jackets playing their best hockey of the year. Searcy says Columbus going to figure out a way to fuck it up. They aren't worth the money on the puck line. They've cost me the last 2 times, but I'm not going to let this pass without fading this Habs team that looks awful.
All right, let's move on to the LA game. Of course, LA coming off that blowout loss to St. Louis. Vancouver on a back-to-back loss, 1-0 at Arizona. Vancouver definitely a beatable team. If they're going up against a quality team that is motivated, that might be LA here. This line has gotten bet up. It opened at minus 210 for LA, now all the way up into the minus 240s, although the Greek still has minus 230. Obviously, a big bounce-back spot for LA. Is the line too inflated or worth a shot, Jim?
It's not too inflated. This is a huge bounce-back spot for the Kings. The Canucks should be faded every single game for the rest of the season. Kings are coming off their largest margin of defeat at home in almost 10 years in that 7-2 loss Sunday afternoon. They've now fallen out of a playoff spot. They're going to be ready to roll. Both Dion Phaneuf and John Stevens said all the right things after the game. Kings are 17-13-3 at home, 6-4-0 over the past 10. Canucks are on the second half of a back-to-back, losing 1-0 to Arizona last night. They've lost all 3 games since Bozer was lost for the season with a back fracture. They've scored just 3 goals in those 3 games. They were struggling long before Bozer got hurt. They're 4-11-3 since February 3rd. They have the 8th best power play in the NHL, but they've only drawn 4 penalties over the last 4 games. That's a sign of a team not controlling the puck at all. Only drawing 4 penalties in 4 games. This is just this is the easiest spot on the card for sure, and the market is showing us that. So have to take the puck line to get any value here, and I'm going to do it.
I did jump on this one on the overnight line, so I got a better line, but I guess I'll give it right now anyway. The best puck line will be at the Greek plus 120. That's what Jim's going to get, and I'm going to take the -1 line, the money line minus 230 at the Greek, and the puck line plus 120. And I'd also be thinking about the Vancouver team total under, although it's 2.5 minus 160.
Wow.
But it just feels like, they don't have much offensively, and LA's going to clamp down and maybe pitch a shutout here. You know what I'm saying, Jim?
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Absolutely. But long term, I can't make those plays. But yeah, absolutely. If there was ever one, this is the most blatant all year.
Yeah. All right. Now let's talk about the other side of that LA-St. Louis pounding, which took some by surprise. St. Louis pounded LA. Now they're going up against Anaheim. And Anaheim, a good team. They lost 2 in a row on the road, right? Now they come back home. Is St. Louis, did they, they did shake up their top line, which is what created that offense. Maybe St. Louis is for real here. If they're not, I think you got to like Anaheim. If they are, I think you got to like the over at just 5, Jim. What do you think?
Wow, I didn't realize it was just 5.
Oh, yeah.
Wow, that's very interesting. And what kind of juice is on it?
Because I'm thinking, I think it's decent juice. I did hit this one a little bit on the overnight line. 5 minus, minus 125, minus 128, that type of deal.
That's all it is.
Yeah.
Ooh,
well,
okay.
I think the big question here is, because St. Louis, the coach changed up their top line, right? And that's what produced so much offense. Now, if that's for real, you got to like the over. If it's not for real, you got to like Anaheim, right?
Well, first off, G-Man Hag says, I would be very careful taking the Ducks tonight. Blues getting back to using their size, letting teams shoot from perimeter, and if their top 2 lines get some goals, could easily steal this win. I think this is we should be all of the Ducks, people who be making money off the Ducks this year, should just be thankful that the Blues just put up 7 goals. So now we get a nice line. I'm on the Ducks puck line for sure.
Wow.
I'm not saying that it's a complete aberration that they put up 7 goals. I said that when they lost Bouwmeester, that there was actually an addition due to the subtraction again, because he's a beat up body. But no, this Blues team, there's something wrong. I was talking on Twitter with a guy who's from St. Louis. He's saying something's wrong in the dressing room with this team. There's something going on. So yeah, who cares? They scored 7 goals Sunday afternoon, an afternoon game where there's more volatility in the afternoon than at night, and now we get a good line. I'm on the Ducks for sure in this game. Now that over 5 does sound pretty interesting, but
you don't think that line of Tarasenko, Schwartz, and Shen or whatever is the real deal? And
I always liked it, and Schwartz, and I don't know why they split them up. They put them back together, and it's a huge boon for them. But you know what? It was Schwartz. It was all Schwartz. Schwartz had a goal and 2 assists. They reunited this line. Shen and Tarasenko have been ice cold. Shen has points in 2 of his last 8 games. Tarasenko has points in 6 of his last 10. Now, all 7 goals came at even strength, which is impressive. Their power play is awful. Now ranked 29th in the league. They're ending a 4-game road trip. We've had success fading these teams. And Brent Brooks says the Blues are broken.
Yeah. Well, on the other hand, Justin Searcy says, I watched that St. Louis game. The Blues exploded Saturday. I think they are pissed. And then right after that, Eric Swiatek says, I can't figure out why people are so high on this Ducks team. Only a +4 goal differential on the season.
That's because of what happened with no lineup for the first 25 games. I am very high on this Ducks team.
Okay.
I think they're going to be extremely difficult to beat in the playoffs, and they outplayed the Stars in that 2-1 loss. It was just they lost the special teams battle, which is so crucial. I'm on the Ducks puck line in this game. I will hum and haw on the 5. I do think it's a nice spot. Udon Porn, Ratana Fact, he says over 5 is a lean. Jake Allen will play versus, he says Martin, but we know Martin's on a different team. But I like I think the 5 is a nice spot, and it's under minus 130. Mm-hmm. So I'm going to take both the Ducks puck line and the over 5.
Anaheim puck line plus 184, and the total will be over 5 minus 128. That's the best line at Pinnacle. Jim's going to take the Anaheim over 5 minus 128. So you do think that that St. Louis will probably put up a few here, and Anaheim can score on their own right?
Yeah, I think I like this over quite a bit, but man, I'm so thankful the Blues put up 7 goals. To get a plus 184, the Ducks at home.
Okay. I'll throw the over 5 here on there as well. Over 5 minus 128. Anaheim against St. Louis. Over 5 minus 128. I'll make that one an official pick. Thinking about, I'm not exactly sure what to make of whether Anaheim is a great bet here, but I certainly trust Jim's lean. All right, now let's move on to Winnipeg and Washington and Detroit, San Jose. Those are the only 2 games that we haven't gotten to. You have a pick on either of those, Jim?
I do. Do we have information on if Grubauer is going to be in goal? Because I couldn't find it out this morning. I will
check right now. Grubauer in goal. Let's see. Looking at it. Grubauer confirmed.
Beautiful.
Grubauer confirmed.
And are they still hanging the 6s? Because if they are, I'm going to jump on that under.
Let's see. 6. Are they still hanging the 6s? Yes, they are. There are still some 6s.
And is under what's it?
Minus 117 at Pinnacle.
Beautiful. I'm all over.
Okay.
I'm all over. And Jin Rummy says check their numbers compared to the other above-ranked team. Ducks are weak. Jin Rummy, I love capping with you, and I think you're wrong.
No.
Jets are coming, and I really, really think if you look at their depth, Kessler's just starting to get going. They have so much depth of forward, defense. They have size. They have goaltending. They have everything. They're going to play. In fact, I'll say this, Jin Rummy, I would be shocked if the Ducks aren't in the Western Conference Final. And come playoff time, Jin Rummy, if you want to go head-to-head, $100, couple $100, whatever you want, under 500. I don't want to go over 500, but on any series the Ducks are in, and if the Ducks are favored, I'll give you whatever the road team. I'll go heads up against you with so much confidence.
Okay. Ulysses Hayes says Washington under agreed. Omar Magana says over, better value on Winnipeg Capitals. Right now we can give you 6 minus 117. You want that official, Jim?
Absolutely.
All right. And then with the no play on the side, and you have anything to say about the San Jose Detroit game?
I do as well. Sorry, let me get to that. Now, have the Sharks announced, because they haven't started Aaron Dell in forever, since February 22nd, since he got lit up, and I was worried before that they might make a move and give him the start here.
Detroit, unconfirmed. Martin Jones, unconfirmed.
Yeah, I'm going to take the Sharks, but not yet. I have a funny feeling that they're going to give Dell the opportunity to get a start here. So I'm not going to take the Sharks yet. But I would like to take the Sharks on the puck line. I even would be interested in the under if Martin Jones is playing. But I just have a funny feeling they're going to start Dell. Detroit coming off their 6th loss in a row, 3-2 at Columbus on Friday night. They've been outscored 23-12 during their skid. They're playing bad. Dylan Larkin, Zetterberg have been non-existent during this losing skid. Each produced just 2 assists. Jimmy Howard 0-4-1 with a 3.30 goals against average. Jared Crows looked even worse, 0-1-0 with a 5.16 goals against average in 2 starts. The Sharks are coming off a 2-0 home loss to the Capitals on Saturday night. Final game of a season-long 6-game homestand. After scoring 12 goals over their first 2 games, their offense is dried up really in a huge way. So I'm going, as soon as for the late show, I'm expecting to take the Sharks on the puck line and expecting to take the under, but won't do it.
Okay. I have a bunch of leans that I'm not going to give. I'm going to think about it. I'm liking a bunch of these team totals. I might wind up throwing them on. Once again, we'll be back at 6 o'clock Eastern time, where we will review all the line moves in NHL and maybe add some picks. For the official picks right now, Jim has given Anaheim puck line plus 184, Anaheim over 5 minus 128, Columbus puck line plus 136, Philly money line plus 100, Florida puck line plus 135, Rangers money line plus 131, and Washington under 6 minus 117. And I'm on the Philly game under, which some people were trying to talk. Oh no, it's the Rangers game that people didn't like. I'm on the Philly game under 6 minus 123, Florida minus 1, Rangers under 6 minus 114. Some people were saying that's a bad play. I might pull that one back if I decide later I want to. Columbus minus 1, LA minus 1, and the Anaheim game over 5 minus 128. And my leans are taking the Vancouver team total under, even though it's 2.5 minus 160, and the Montreal team total under even though it's 2.5 minus 145. And also thinking about the first period under in that Washington game as well, because I think if Jim's read on it is correct, which I think it is, I think it's going to start out slow, and I would be leaning the first period under in Winnipeg, Washington as well. All right, so let's move on to college basketball, Jimmy the Bag.
Yeah,
how about that? College basketball, Jimmy the Bag. We can throw the college basketball records up there, which are not good overall. They're not good. But we've had some over, and once again, my leans positive in college basketball, doing very well with my leans in college basketball. And overall, just doing well. It's just, again, the way I bet college basketball, I make a ton of bets, very low unit size, and they're holistic. I bet the first half against the second half and the full game and hedge them all out. So let's start with the 4 games today. There is one bet that I did make in college basketball, and that was I did take a shot with the IPFW game has already started. I did take a shot with the first half over in Abilene Christian and Drake. I got it at 67, and that now has exploded up there. Where is that one? Holy shit! I was going to give that one. That probably moved during the show. Holy shit! It's up to 71. I bet it at 67.5, Jim. Wow. Abilene Christian and Drake first half over. I wanted to. When the hell did that line move? Did it move during the friggin' show? When did it move? I jumped on the line as soon as it opened. Oh no, it was okay. Right. It jumped. I jumped on that, Jim. 67.5, and I bought down to 67 at minus 120. Nice job by me, right?
Great.
Now I don't know what to think about it though. It's 70.5 or 71. That was the only play I was gonna give. Damn. I was also going to maybe take a shot with the over in Hartford, San Diego. That line has gotten bet up a little bit from 138 to 139.5. All right, those are the only picks I was going to give. I don't know if I want to give the Abilene Christian Drake first half over now. I'll have to scratch my head a little bit about this, Jim. Do you have anything to say about any of these 4 games?
No, the guys I run with have been capping the hell out of them, and I know they're all into Drake. Tonight, or today, excuse me. But no, I'm focusing all my attention. There are some games I'm gonna like in these, these other tournaments. But I'm focusing all afternoon on March Madness.
All right. Well, God. All right. Damn. Jeez. Fuck. Shit. God damn. Jeez. Fuck. Shit. All right, I'll give the first half over, even though it's at 70.5 minus 116. If it lands on 68, 69, or 70. That's why you gotta get the early lines and line chop, Jim. But I'll give it anyway. Drake first half over 70.5 minus 116. That is the current line at Pinnacle. 70.5 minus 116. Again, I bet that one at 67.5, and I max bet it, Jim.
Nice,
very nicely
nice
done.
Spot. Marcus Cologne's also on the Drake full game over.
Yeah.
JD Williams is also on Drake minus 8. JD Williams had a monster day yesterday too. He's hot. He's running hot. So stick with whatever JD is doing.
Nice. I also I'm gonna have to look into the Hartford San Diego game. Those are 2 teams that tend to play a very slow pace, but in this spot they might not play that way. So I'd be leaning that way as well on the first half under and the full game under. And other than that, I got nothing. But that's it for the games that go off today. I'll take the Drake first half over 70.5 minus 116.
Dan Kelly's curious. He's on the second half line on Fort Wayne, Central Michigan. It just came out.
Oh shit!
And
that's
he's
just
liking
up.
the over.
All right. So Jim, why don't I just quickly look at what the second half line is on that one, while you speak a little bit extemporaneously about your initial thoughts on the NCAA tournament opening lines that came out, Jim.
Absolutely, I will, and we can run through them. My man Paulie D says, Jimmy, hate that hat today. Big Red Sox fan here. Well, you have nothing to worry about with our Toronto Blue Jays. They're not going to be good. I made a $500 bet on the under 81.5 games wins for the Blue Jays, and I do not trust this team at all. Justin Searcy saying Nostra was on Drake minus 10. Yes, Nostra Tota is on Drake minus 10, and a bunch of guys are. I imagine that will be the play for sure. Looking at these early lines, man, and we don't have them all out for whatever reason on Sportsbook Review. I would have to go over to Bet365 where I saw them all. But my very first thing, there was a couple places I wanted to take immediately, but I like Seton Hall in this spot here. I think that they're going to give NC State a lot of trouble. Now that we know that Desi's healthy, I'm gonna cap that game. I was hoping to have it already done for the morning show, but we lost an hour, so our show is starting a little earlier. I'm gonna have that play ready to go.
What's so funny?
Twatty's just hammering me for hockey. He says it considers embellishment foreplay.
Yeah, Dan Kelly says the second half line on Fort Wayne Central Michigan came out over 86.5. I'm passing on that one. I'm not gonna touch that one. And as far as the second half spread is concerned, probably going to pass on that one as well. Slightly into IPFW at -4, but I'm going to pass on that one. That's definitely not a play for me. Pass. Sorry, no play on Central Michigan IPFW, and definitely no bet. All right, so yeah, let's look at the. Let me look over them. Yeah, go ahead. All right, let me just pull up my Jesus Christ. Let me just pull up my my Word document here, and then we can start talking about it. Jim, did you make any bets on the opening lines?
I haven't, but I've already noticed that the Pennsylvania opened here on Bet365 at +15. It's gone down to +14.
Mm-hmm.
That's an interesting spot. I love the way Pennsylvania plays. They're one of those teams that gets distribution from all over, but that's going to be a tough spot. Man, Kansas looked awesome.
Mm-hmm.
They just looked awesome, and to do that without Azubuike was extremely impressive. So much so that I might think that I might put a little bit of money on them taking the whole thing. I was very, very impressed with how they could play without Azubuike. Very impressed. It was D'Souza stepped up, and we talked about earlier in the year how they were missing that 6'9" presence that was going to be beside Azubuike, and then he took care of everything.
Mm-hmm.
What a stud. I was heartbroken to see that Davidson has to open up against Kentucky. We saw with their perimeter defense that we talked about all show long that they could shut down or slow down the Bonnies, slow down Rhode Island, but Kentucky has got so many different weapons. Now, I said that to Nostra Toda. I said, man, I wish Davidson got a team that, that was all about their offense from their guards. And Nostra was like, man, Kentucky did not look good against beating Tennessee. That they allowed Tennessee shot 19% opening up, and were right in that game. If that Davidson might be able to rock here with Kentucky, but I'm upset at that matchup. I wish Buffalo got a better matchup than Arizona. That's going to be so tough, so tough moving forward. CRC says Penn is going to get destroyed by Kansas. Of course, that's what everybody expects. But the money has come on, Penn, since it's opened up.
There's a bunch of games where I'm thinking that I'm once again I take a holistic approach to these college basketball games. There's a lot of these big underdogs that I'm thinking are going to be decent bets on the first half. So let me just go down the Wright State Tennessee game. I'm thinking that Wright State is going to be a good bet on the first half. I'm thinking the first half score on that one is going to be relatively close. Tennessee might pull away in the second half, but I'm thinking Wright State on the first half is probably a good bet. Probably on the full game as well. Going on down the line, the Iona Duke game, I'm definitely thinking that the under might be a good play on that one. We'll see where that line comes out, but I'm thinking that the under or the first half under, I think the total on that one is probably going to come out pretty high, and the under might be a good play on that one, especially the first half. Loyola and Miami, Florida, I'm also thinking about an under on that one, but the total is probably going to be low, so I might hold off on that one, but got to be leaning under on that one. Davidson, Kentucky. Yeah, that is a tricky one. I'm also thinking that might also be a shot to take a shot with the under on, and maybe the first half under, depending
I like that.
on. Yeah,
I like
we'll
that
see.
a lot because we know that that Davidson has length and can defend the perimeter. Just before you continue, King Rail, and this is Buffalo, Arizona is my favorite game of this first round. And King Rail says Buffalo will beat Arizona. That's my favorite game so far. My God, it's amazing because Arizona could run all the way and could also get eliminated by Buffalo in the first round. Buffalo is such a good basketball team. I wish they had an easier first round opponent.
Yeah. San Diego State and Houston's a tough one. Those are two teams that really streaking at the end of the regular season ATS-wise. It's kind of frustrating that they're playing each other because I would have wanted to bet both of them,
Absolutely.
Yeah.
I would. Words right out of my mouth. San Diego. So Houston is not bred to take on two 6'10" forwards with mobility. They're just not set up for that. I just wish both these teams I love, and San Diego State having to open up against Houston. God, they're such good basketball teams, but I'm leaning San Diego State.
Me too.
Here.
I'm getting 4 points. Yes, I pick them. No, but getting 4 points, absolutely. Then Stephen F. Austin does have a history of doing well in the tournament. Not sure I want him on the full game, but I'm definitely going to be having them on the first half. When that line comes out, I'll be hitting that one on the first half. Buffalo, Arizona. That is a tough one. I know you guys love Buffalo. I'm just like, Arizona scares me. They scare me in the same way that Gonzaga scared me in that game. Who did Gonzaga play when they blew them out? Was it BYU? I can't remember. But, Buffalo is impressive, but Arizona scares me. Go ahead, Jim.
Don't you think that would be if Arizona takes control, that would be in the second half.
Yeah, I mean, yes. Look, I'm just saying the game scares me. The game freaking scares me. Montana, Michigan is a tough one. I forgot who it was. Someone said that Michigan is going to be a great postseason team because of their guard play, and I think that's true. I would still probably be leaning to Montana on the first half there. Moving on down the line, Fullerton and Purdue. Purdue has not been a good team. ATS going down the stretch, and I'm not totally convinced that they should be given 20.5 to Fullerton if they get it. This is a game where I could see Purdue up huge in the beginning, and then Fullerton getting a backdoor cover. I did bet a little bit Fullerton plus 20.5. That's a lot of points. You know what I'm saying? Yeah. Fullerton definitely going to be scrapping to the end, even if they're down 25. Purdue definitely going to be looking ahead if they're up by 25 in the second half. Could easily get a backdoor cover. Thinking Fullerton might be worth a shot there at plus 20.5. Marshall against Wichita State. Wichita State, I think they should be a little bit better than they actually are, and I'm thinking Marshall, especially in the first half, might be a competitive team here. I bet Marshall a little bit at plus 12, and I'll definitely be on the first half when that one comes out. Georgia State, Cincinnati is a tricky one. Cincinnati is similar to Arizona. They can just really dominate even a quality team like Georgia State. But again, feels like a few too many points. Maybe a shot with Georgia State on the first half. North Carolina, Lipscomb, that does not feel like too many points. Feels like North Carolina is going to roll over Lipscomb.
To the Georgia State situation, Cincinnati starts slowly, always, I find. And to be honest with you, I was talking with Twadi about what's the potential for the biggest upset in this card. And Twadi thinks Bucknell. And Dan Kelly here says, I wanted to get on Bucknell, but the game is in Detroit. A virtual home game for Michigan State will definitely affect Bucknell or refs. Now, I think that the biggest opportunity for a giant upset is Georgia State.
Really?
I do.
You think they might, you mean in terms of an outright win?
And now I think Cincinnati's a very, very tough team to play. But yeah, if I was looking at what could be the biggest possible upset on this tournament, yes, I do. I think they could shock the world with Cincinnati starting slow and then having to grind their way back into the game. I mean, they're 15. How big are the dogs?
It's 14.5. And Tom Marino says Cincinnati tends to dominate weak teams because the offensive issues in half court aren't that big of a deal. Yeah. Listen.
King Rail says Lipscomb plays good ball. I could see them hanging in there. It was funny that your lean was because my lean was, oh my God, I think Lipscomb can hang in within 20.
I don't know. Yeah, I mean, it's just those. If it was more than 20, I would probably like it. But similar to the Fullerton game, but it's just when you start to get under 20 with that big of a discrepancy over a full game, yeah, they might be able to. I'm going to look into that one a little bit. Obviously, these are just first thoughts. Go ahead.
I have a question.
Yeah.
Michael Lunday says, Jimmy, could you and Pete do an extended show going over all the tourney games? Is that what our late shows are going to become?
We could do special. We could do this is a Loshak in the bag special coming to you. We could do specials at alternative times, and anyone who wants to tune in, we'll talk to the marketing people about that. Yeah. I'm sure they'd like that. We could do Loshak in the bag specials.
Yeah, I'd love to do that. We're definitely going to have every single game capped in its entirety, broken down in enormous ways. Yes, Michael, thank you for being interested.
Broken down in enormous ways. You sound like Trump there. We're going to break it down in huge, enormous ways. The breakdowns are just going to be massive. You're going to love them. A
lot of people here thinking that Lipscomb's going to give up 100 points to North Carolina. Salty Dog says play the over with Lipscomb too. Man, I think that's an excellent play that I'm going to make a note of right now, and hopefully have that game capped by our late show this afternoon so I can start getting the plays in.
The Murray State-West Virginia game is an interesting one. I also took a small shot with Murray State at plus 10.5, and I think I'm liking the first half even more. That's another game we're going to be on the first half. Texas-Nevada, very, very tricky one, but that's a game where, because it's such a competitive line close to pick'em, if you can find a small edge, you can have a very confident edge on the spread. Same deal with
Nevada there.
Really?
I do. I think that we're playing a Texas team where their bigs are so strong and their guards are so weak against a Nevada team that goes small. Will try to take the power away from their forwards. So yes, that's another play I hopefully can give out on the late show today. I'd like to take Nevada.
Okay. Same deal with Kansas State, Creighton. Bucknell, Michigan State is also a tricky one. I could see Bucknell definitely hanging close in the first half. Michigan State is so good, though, and Izzo is so great. Not sure I'd want them full game. Charleston, Auburn, also Like I said, a lot of the underdogs this year are looking like a little bit too high for me. I think we're going to see a lot of games like the Charleston-Auburn game where you have a team that's like a 10-point dog and they lose 79-72, something like that. I feel like we're going to have a lot of double-digit dogs that are going to lose by that they're going to cash ATS and lose by a fewer points than the market is giving them credit for. So I'm definitely liking Charleston, especially first half. We'll see how that turns out. UMBC Virginia. Virginia can sometimes drop the hammer on teams like this, but I'm not totally sure they're going to be motivated to get a 22.5-point win. They might be, but I'm not. I mean, as a number one seed, as a top-ranked team in the country, I'm not sure that Virginia's going to be in this game going like, yes, let's beat UMBC by 30. So UMBC might be a good bet at 22.5.
UMBC has a ton of heart.
Yes.
A ton of heart. I don't know if that's going to help that much in this game. I'm concerned. I'm concerned about them. I love their guard play. We talked about the Retrievers. I was very impressed that they won out right. Their attorney and
ton of heart. You can't keep them down, UMBC. Florida State, Missouri is an interesting game. I definitely bet Florida State at +1. It's now flipped to pick them or -1. I think I might make that one an official pick here. Missouri, a good team, but they're just having a few issues right now. And Florida State, they have some deep scorers. They can run up and down the court. And I think Florida State might be a play. I'll throw that one on there as my first official pick.
Oh, wow.
Not necessarily that it's a solid play that I think is guaranteed to win, but I did bet it at +1. It's now at Pick'em, and I'll take Florida State Pick'em at -110. Current line at the Greek and a bunch of other places. Oh, Bet365 still has +1, so I'll take that one. Florida State +1, -110. That's the current line at Bet365. Most other places have Pick'em or -1. So I'll start off with a play Florida State officially, and then the New Mexico State Clemson game. Again, this is one of those games where it's this is a game that has a spread that was more like what I was expecting to see from all the other games. Clemson obviously a great team. New Mexico State catching only 5 points. Maybe they should be. Maybe this game should be pick'em. Hard to get a read as of right now, first glance, on where that line should be. But I could easily see New Mexico State in the end, in retrospect, having value, even getting only 5. Jim,
I agree. I think there is value with New Mexico State in this spot.
Mm-hmm.
I agree.
All right, let's get to some comments. Tomor says, I think New Mexico State can beat Clemson. Don't forget that there are upsets. Every year there are upsets, and some of these underdogs will absolutely win outright. Brant Hunt says Buffalo has no chance. Let's see. Omar Magana says, remember this season there weren't any top teams that super stood out. Obviously, everything changes in tourney, just FYI. Let's see. Other comments here. Brant Hunt says, I'm going to be laying points with Arizona all day. Wow. Salty Dog 93 says, love Charleston. I would agree with that. Not necessarily to win, but to get a cover for sure. Let's see. Other comments.
Greg Schneider's on Arizona, Gonzaga, Michigan State, and Nova for his final 4 teams.
Mm-hmm. Tomor says, I think Michigan State is overrated, but I don't see Bucknell giving them too much trouble. So let's put that in the memory bank. Maybe Michigan State, a team to fade ATS-wise in later rounds. You know what I'm saying? Especially first half stuff. Bucknell might be another spot where Bucknell's getting 8 in the first half. Take Bucknell +8 in the first half. Tomarino says, I don't think Bucknell has the size to stay with Michigan State's front line. Okay, let's see. Other comments here. A lot of people saying Oklahoma doesn't belong there, and Oklahoma knows that. So a lot of times those teams where the media and the press and the general feeling is that they don't belong in the tournament, those are the teams that sometimes can make a deep run. Like a lot of times those teams that are like the last team in, they have to play a play-in game, and then they make a deep run. Be careful of that. That could happen with Oklahoma this year, although I agree that they're, I'm not sure if they have what they need on the roster to make that happen. But Salty Dog says Georgia State did it in 2016. Greg Schneider says Cincinnati always chokes in the tourney. Justin Searcy says biggest upset is whoever gets Florida. Interesting. Okay. All right.
Very, very interesting.
Yeah.
And for the play-in games, I don't know. I hate taking UCLA because I know that there's going to be a ton of public money on UCLA against the Bonnies. But I don't see how the Bonnies bigs can match up against UCLA's bigs at all. I just don't see. I think UCLA, and I hate saying that, and I like this Bonnies team, but I think UCLA is going to win comfortably. All
right, and then Syracuse, Arizona State. I was thinking Syracuse, right? Arizona State, definitely a team that has been up and down this year, has some issues. Are they going to be able to handle a Syracuse zone? Not totally convinced of that one. So in the play-in games, I would definitely be leaning Syracuse getting points and, leaning LIU +4 against Radford, but I have to do more research into that to figure out what I really think about that one. The other games in the play-in games, I have to do more research into, but my first thoughts, Syracuse maybe has the edge, maybe LIU getting 4 as a dog against Radford.
I'm with you on the Syracuse play. I'll have that game capped for this afternoon show. My lean certainly is with Syracuse right now. Arizona State's just a mess.
Yeah. So those are just some initial thoughts on the opening lines for the NCAA tournament. I decided to make one official play: Florida State +1 -110. Of course, Jim and I will be capping the hell out of this game all the way up to tip-off of the first game. And don't forget, there is a contest at Sportsbook Review, Bracket Busters contest. Sign up for that at SBR Forum. I believe it's in the main forum. It might be in the college basketball section as well on the forum, and probably you can find it at SBR Contest. Very easy to find in general. Should be a lot of fun. And Jim and I will be in that contest as well, and we'll be talking bracketology today, tomorrow, and Wednesday. And I guess that's about it, Jimmy the Bag. We'll be back at 6 o'clock Eastern Time. Thanks for tuning in.